Welcome to another edition of Brownie Bites here on YouTube. I'm Darryl Ryder coming to you from Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Berea, where the Browns put the wraps on yet another practice as their preparations for Week 1 continue. Denzel Ward on the field. He continues to be on track to be ready for next weekend's game against the Bengals. Good news there. Ethan Posick, Mahmoud Diabate, Blake Whiteheart, though, among those not able to practice. 9 players were brought back to the practice squad, including Sam Kamara and Caden Davis. The Browns are also bringing back quarterback Bailey Zappi to the practice squad. Zappi, of course, started Week 18 last season, so there are now going to be 4 quarterbacks in the house once again. We visited after practice with Browns assistant GM and Vice President of Player Personnel Glenn Cook prior to the Zappi news dropping. 12 rookies are on this 53-man roster. Here's the best of Cook from his media availability.
I think you guys know how we are just in terms of being active in that transaction when it comes to trades. And so there's just a lot of conversation. Andrew, will at some point loop us in and get our thoughts on it. And we just work as a group to collab on, hey, is this the best decision for us? What level of pick or asset do we want in return? And it's just something we work through, So at times it happens over 24 hours. Sometimes it takes a few weeks. It was one of those things where we worked through it and felt good about the group and felt good about the room and thought it was the best decision for the team. I think it was just like a fluid conversation across the board, and it's just obviously they had an injury and it made sense for both sides to have some conversation and consummate a trade. More about, like Kevin talked a lot about, like the competitiveness, like raising the level of competitiveness. If you're going to talk about being a team that competes, it's opening up the roster spots to whoever earns it. And I think that's more of a sign of those young guys coming in, no matter where they came from, how they were acquired, and sort of earning it every day. And so I think it just so happens that it's a lot of young players. I wouldn't say we intentionally said if you're younger, you are a priority, but we also were open to, hey, if you're Aiden Huntington and you show us that you deserve to be on the roster, you're going to be on the roster. So I think it speaks more to that than some specific intentionality around age. Like Kevin says, all our guys are developing, from top to bottom. And I know this is a weird analogy maybe, but Miles is working on something. He's trying to develop his craft. Like I said, Aiden, he's trying to develop his craft. So we'll never stop developing. You're going to always have guys that need to work on something. And the youth is something we'll work through. We're willing to allow the players to grow into their role on the team. And understand you may take some lumps, right? Like you may take some lumps here or there, but we try to balance thinking short-term and long-term, and that goes into all the decisions. It's a position that takes, at sometimes takes a little time to develop, and so you want as much depth as you can have. We'll never apologize for having as many big guys on both sides of the ball as we can. So, like today we feel good about it. Like I said, August to October can look different, so we tried to load up and have as many guys that can contribute, be versatile, play different roles up front on both sides. And so, we feel good and are excited about that group.
I asked Cook about the team's confidence in Dillon Gabriel as the number 2 quarterback now that Gabriel is simply a play away from being counting on to help this football team win games.
I think it's you look at the work he's put in every day. You take the foundation of his college career and his experience and all the things that he did in college as well. It's a running eval, it's a running resume, and so I think he just put a lot of trust. He gained a lot of trust from the coaching staff just in terms of how he worked, and we feel good about it. So, look, every player is a player away, and I know Dillon's going to prepare and put himself in position, and if he needs to be ready, he'll be ready.
There's a lot that goes into being a backup quarterback in this league, and you have to be ready at a moment's notice when you don't get reps. You have to understand the game plan as well, if not better than the starter. You have to support the starter. You have to be in there tied at the hip with the starter in so many of these meetings and in the preparations getting ready. And then you have to stay ready. It's one of those things we talk about really at every single position. You have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's important certainly for all positions, and it's important in the quarterback room as well.
Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski also spoke after practice. Here's some of what Stefanski had to say about the new look practice squad as well as 53-man roster.
The practice squad itself has evolved so much over the years, and and even way before my time too, it was a different squad, if you will. So just the sheer numbers of that, having that many guys available to you, allows you to be flexible. It allows you to have some young guys that you're developing, some older guys that you can elevate in a pinch. You can help one side of the ball on one week and then pivot to a different side next week. So it does give you some flexibility. Development is ongoing for rookie players, and we're extremely intentional about developing our players at all positions, certainly the quarterback position. So every minute of their day will be accounted for within the rules, don't worry. And we'll make sure that we bring them along and not just assume they're just going to get better by osmosis, which they will. They'll learn a lot from just sitting in the meeting room, but we're going to make sure that we're bringing them along with extra meeting time, extra time on the field, being smart about what we do before practice, after practice, during practice, all those type of things. Well, he made another play on the ball today, so he's been very ball aware. The ball seems to find him. He's, as you guys have seen, he does a nice job of running a defense, which is not easy for a young player, but in order to do that, in order to tell people where to get lined up, you have to know your stuff, and he really does know his part of this thing and how he factors into it.
Second-round pick Carson Schwesinger was named the Maurice Bassett Award winner as the most outstanding rookie, as voted on by local reporters. Here's a couple of thoughts from the linebacker from UCLA.
I think it's great. I think we as a rookie class had a productive camp, and there's a lot of rookies that I'm looking forward to being able to take the field with. First of all, it's obviously great to hear that support, but I think for me it's just being able to make sure when I come out on the field I'm prepared, and all the guys that have helped make that easy and help make that smooth, whether it's the coaches or the other guys I'm on the field with, and they've really been the driving force of that, really in every aspect, whether it's the off the field, just understanding our defense, offenses now, and or on the field, certain techniques, block shedding, anything like that. I think through just reps and what we do in the meeting rooms, and also with Coach Tarver on the field, I think I've really grown in every aspect. It's been great just to see the journey and see how far I've come, and really I'm just thankful for the support I've had from my family and my friends to get to this point, and I'm excited to keep working with these guys. Oh, it makes it a whole lot easier when half the lines can't even worry about the backers because they're so worried about everybody else in front of us, and it makes it a whole lot easier to play behind, and even those guys just helping in the huddle and in the meeting rooms too. We like to go attack, and as a linebacker, you love that, to go run, hit, tackle a guy with the ball.
That's it for this edition of Brownie Bites here on YouTube. A reminder to hit the subscribe button on the 92.3 The Fan channel. With the Browns in Berea, I'm Darrell Ryder for Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.